everyone. Today we are going to do our first math lesson, and I wanted to start out by correcting your math workbook. On page 145, it was your equivalent fractions assignment from yesterday or from Friday. So if you can get out your workbooks, enter to page 145, we'll go through and correct that page. So pause the video and go through and get your workbook. Okay, page 145, number 1. Doing equivalent fractions. Hopefully you understood some of the videos that you were watching. And so number 1 in your workbook, if you shade a quarter, if a quarter of your square would be shaded, it's the same as equaling 2 out of the 8 parts. So your answer should be 2 over 8. And if you think about, I think in one of your videos it was talking to you about what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So if you have the fraction 1 over 4 is equal to 2 over 8, if you think about what times 4 gives you 8, it's 2, right? 4 times 2 equals 8. So since you did it times 2 to the bottom number, the 4, you would also do it to the 1. 1 times 2, and then you would get 2. 2 over 8. Number 2, you have a full box that's shaded and cut into 5 different parts. The 5 out of 5 is your first square. You have to figure out how many out of 10. If your box, the same size box, was cut into 10 parts, it would also equal the whole box. So you would have all of them shaded, 10 out of 10. So it doesn't matter how many parts it's cut into. This one is 5 and it's the whole box, so it's 5 out of 5. This was cut into 10 parts, it's still the whole box, so you do 10 out of 10. So your answer for number 2 should be 10 out of 10. Number 3, if you have half a pizza that's shaded, and you want to figure out how many out of the 6 pieces to get the equivalent fraction, think about what did I do to the bottom, to 2 to get to 6? What did I multiply 2 by to get to 6? 2 times what equals 6? Well, it would be 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. So since I did that to the bottom, I also have to do that to the top. 2 times 3 equals 6, so you're going to say 1 times 3 on the top. 1 times 3 is 3, so your equivalent fraction would be 3 parts out of 6. So your answer for number 3 is 3. It's still half the pizza, but it's just cut into smaller sections. So 3 out of 6, or 1/2. Number 4, you have a bar, 2 bars that are the same size. The first one is cut into 2 parts, 1 out of 2. If I had the same size bar and I cut it into 4 parts, I have those number on the bottom. I have a 2 on the bottom and I have a 4 on the bottom. What did I do to the 2 parts to get to the 4 parts? 2 times what gives me 4? 2 times 2. So you did times 2 to the bottom, so you're also going to do times 2 to the top. 1 times 2, that's going to give you the equivalent fraction, 2 out of 4. So your answer for number 4 should be 2. Number 5, your answer should have been 4 4/12. Number 6, 6/9. 7 is 9/12, or 9/15, sorry. Number 8, you had to decide whether it was an equivalent fraction. You had 1/2. Does it equal the same amount as 3/4? And no, there are a different amount of parts shaded, so your answer for number 8 should be no. Number 9, no. Number 10, yes. Number 11, write an equivalent fraction for each. Now here's where you could look at your fraction bars that I put into your math packet for you to take home that day when you came and got all your books. There was a sheet called like math bars or math fractions, and it had the same size bars but cut into different parts, and you could line it up and figure out if you had 3 or if you had 9 and follow that up. I'll show you how to do that too. But your answer, so what it was, let's look at number 11. Let's look at it on the board. So you had one with 3 parts. So if you have 1/3, try to write it big enough so you can see it. If you have 1/3, you want to figure out what it equals with 9 parts. So one you have 3 parts, one you have 9 parts. So what do you do to the bottom? What times 3 is going to give you 9? Think about that. What times 3, what number times 3 is going to give you 9? Well, it's 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. So since you times 3 times the bottom, you also have to do it times 3 on the top. So 1 times the 3 is going to give you 3. So your equivalent fraction would be 3/9. Number 12, let's look at that one. Your fraction is 3 out of 4 parts. You want to figure out what the equivalent fraction was if you had 12 parts. So since you have 4 on the bottom, what times 4 is going to get you to 12? What times 4 is going to get you to 12? Times 3. So 4 times 3 equals 12. You did that to the bottom, so now you have to do that to the top. 3 times your 3, 3 times 3 is 9. So your equivalent fraction is 9/12, 9/12. That's the answer for number 12, 9/12. Number 13. Ten out of 12 is equal to what out of 6? Now this, you have to kind of do it backwards. This is the opposite of multiplication. It's subtraction because you're getting smaller. So 12 divided by what number? Or you can think of it this way, since you're going to this way. 12 divided by what number gives you 2? Or 6? It's 2. You divide by 2 on the bottom. 12 divided by 2 would be 6. So you also have to do that on the top. 10 divided by 2, and that would give you 5. So your answer for 13 should be 5/6. Now let me show it to you on the fraction bars. You also have this in your textbook. Let's go back and look at that. It's on page 386. Turn to page 386 in your textbook. Pause the video and go and get it if you need to find your textbook. Okay, so here are the fraction bars. When you want to say, like our problem we just had in our math textbook, or our math workbook, was 10/12. So you go down and you find the 12ths, which are the very bottom ones, and you had 10 out of them. So 1, you count over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have all these 10 out of the 12. So then you're going to follow that up until you find the denominator that you want to be in, and we wanted to do 6ths. So 6 are the, let's see, I can't see backwards here, are the light blue. So you have your 10 out of 12, you follow it up to the light blue right there. This is the one that we didn't have. These are the ones on this side that we did have. So you're going to count over and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 out of 6. And we also had 10 out of 12. So you just follow it up, and that's how many you had. And that was our answer up here. 5 out of 6. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at in your textbook for our new lesson for today, which is estimating fractions. That's going to be found on page 390. It's lesson 12.3 in your textbook. Go ahead and turn there now. Pause the video if you need to go and get your book. This is textbook, page 390, lesson 12.3. Okay, today you're estimating fractions. That means you don't have to find out exactly. You want to do an approximating amount or estimating. Remember, when we estimated, it wasn't the exact amount. It was always rounding. It was about this much, or a little less or a little more. It was okay, but as long as it was an about amount. So your example gives you a measuring cup, and it says about 1/4 full. So if you had a cup of water and someone said, please fill it give me a half a glass of milk. So if someone asked you for half a glass of milk, you wouldn't get out a measuring cup and look on the little lines and measure it. You would just pour in about that much, right? And you have about that much milk to about half. You would approximate it. If someone said, I need about 1/4, well, you know that's going to be even less. That's going to be about half of what your milk was. 1/4 is half of a half. So it's going to be down there. So today you're just going to estimate. So it shows in your book 1/4, about a half, and about 3/4. So let's look at number 1. On page 390. In your textbook, it says, the directions are, is the estimate correct? Write yes or no. So for number 1, about what part is light blue? And it asks you, is about 3/4 of it light blue? Well, there's a light blue color and a dark blue color. There is more light blue than dark blue. So I would say yes. What part is light blue? About 3/4? I would say yes, that is true. About 3/4 for number 1. So number 1 I would say is yes. Number 2. You can have a math paper up too if you need to, because we're going to have you write down some of these to practice. So if you need a paper, pause the video and get a paper. Let's go on to number 2. About how much pizza is left. So it shows you how much pizza they have and how, like, they show a piece that's a section that's missing. So they want to know how much is left. So it says, is it about 1/2? No, it's more than 1/2. More than 1/2 of the pizza is there. So I would say it's about 3/4 of the pizza. So is it 1/2? No, it would be more than that. Number 3, about what part of the hour has passed? Is it about 1/2? So if you look on the clock, the one little hand is on between the 12 and the 1, and the big hand, the minute hand, is all the way down to the bottom on the 6. So from 1 hour, it takes 12 all the way around the clock. From 12 to 12 is 1 hour. So if it's halfway down there on the 6, that's the bottom. It's halfway. From 12 to 6, halfway, it's about, yes, about half an hour. So number 3 would be yes. Number 4, about how much pie is left. It shows you the pan, mostly empty. Is it about 1/4 left? 1/4 is half of a half. Yes, about 1/4 is left. So number 4 would be yes. I would like you to try 5 and 6. Pause the video and please do number 5 and 6, and then when you're done, please start the video again. Okay, number 5. About how much sand is in the bucket? 3/4. It looks like you can see it, but it's not all the way to the top. So more than half. So I would say 5 is yes. 6. About what part of the sandwich is left? Is it about 1/4? About 1/4 is missing, not left. About 3/4 of it is left. So the answer would be no. Okay, let's go to the next page, page 391. And let's look at some of those. We're going to estimate the fraction for the part in each set that is shaded. Write less than 1/2 or more than 1/2. Number 7. Is it less than 1/2 or more than 1/2? Number 7 would be less than 1/2. Number 8. I would say about more than 1/2. Number 9, look at the yellow boxes, is more than half. There's 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So that would be 8 total. Half of 8 would be 4. So yes, more than half is shaded. For number 9, yes, more than half. You try 10, 11, and 12. Please pause the video. Okay, number 10. Less. Number 11. Less. Number 12. More. If you go on to look at the clocks, let's look at number 13. Estimate the time. It's about, so if you, let's look at the clock. Let me draw a clock really quick. So here's our clock. If you're all the way up here, that's the 12. Right? That's the 12 o'clock. So you go all the way around, and that's 1 whole hour, all the way around. So if you were to only go this much, and then this much, and then this much, and then back to the beginning, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So 1 hour, if you break it up, it could be into 4 parts, the clock. This would be 12, this would be 3, this is 6, and this is 9. So if you look at the clock on number 13, you estimate the time. It shows it to about over here. So you're going to go up. It's about 1/4 to 2, 1 of the quarters. And to the hour hand, you see the hour hand is the smaller hand, and it's almost to the 2. So it's 1/4 to 2, 1/4 to 2. Number 14. If you look at the big hand, that's the minute hand. It's almost touching the bottom, but not quite to the 6. Well, all the way to the bottom is 1/2 of our clock. So it's very close to 1/2. So I would say it's about half past, and the hour would be, because it's the little hand, 11. So about 1/2 past 11. So 1/2 past 11. Number 15 is also the minute hand. The larger hand is down to the bottom. It's a little bit past the 6. So if it's a little bit close to the bottom, that's half of the clock, half of the hour. So it's about 1/2 past, and the hour hand is the smaller hand, which is between the 4 and the 5. So if it's not to the 5 yet, that means it's still the 4 o'clock. It's the one before. So it's about 1/2 past 4. So about 1/2 past 4 for number 15. Try number 16. Pause the video and try 16. Okay, number 16. Your minute hand, the big hand, is over to the, pointing to the 3, almost to the 3. So that's only one of our quarters. So that would be 1/4, and it's past the hour, because at 12 would be the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That's the hour. If it goes past the 12, you're into the next hour. So it's 1/4, to the 3 of our 4 sections, because it's almost to the 3, 1/4 past, and the hour is the littler hand. It's pretty much at the 7. So it's about 1/4 past 7. Okay, today for homework or schoolwork or your assignment is to work in your workbook, and hopefully you did Khan Academy. If you haven't, you'll need to do Khan Academy also, because it'll give you some more to do with fractions. You're going to estimate fractions on page 146. Tomorrow we'll correct that page. Good luck.